Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gearing up for our game of the week between the Unicorns of Love and H2k. Let's start by looking at the lineup for the Passion Ponies. The Unicorns of Love, of course. Visit Chachi up top, Kikis in the jungle, Power of Evil in the mid lane, Vardags the AD carry, Hillisang as your support, and Sheepy, the ever-watching coach. Unicorns of Love, they continue to be inconsistent. They sometimes fight when they shouldn't. They have weird and wonderful team comps. They look for those pause buttons. And I think yesterday, the bottom lane played a little too aggressively, giving up some of those advantages to SOAS.
I just think in general, UOL seems to have a tendency of, when they're playing towards their strong side, not having their weak side play accordingly. And it just showed yesterday. Chachi was doing well on the rise. He was getting ahead. But then SOAS decided, hey, I'm done laning. I'm going to start roaming. And suddenly walks back into the lane with 3 kills, and Chachi's like, well,
what can you do?
Guess I'm done here.
I mean, Origin ended up rolling over the Unicorns of Love between 20 minutes and game in. 7 towers, 14 kills, a Dragon and Baron. I mean, it was scary. And again, we saw that Power of Evil simply couldn't carry. Yesterday, he got shut down against Peke. It was the Cassio into Orion, and I remember you were actually questioning that matchup.
I mean, he got neutralized to an extent, and it seems to work against the Unicorns. If you manage to neutralize Power of Evil, don't give him any kills, yeah, let him go even CS, that's fine. As long as you have a scaling component on your mid laner too, then it's fine. And then if you have the better macro team, you can deal with them. And speaking of macro teams, you know, that's going to be H2k.
It really will be. So let's take a look at the lineup for H2k. It is, of course, going to be Oda in the top lane, Lulex in the jungle, Ryu, who played Twisted Fate yesterday in the mid lane with Hyanin and Kasing as the duo. Prolly is the coach. Now, this is a team that yesterday, while they had a win, they gave up an uncharacteristic amount of dragons to SK, 4 of them in fact. They gave up a Baron. And it really felt like it was all because of Ryu and Kasing they ended up winning that game.
Yeah, they were not happy after their victory, but it showed in the game how decisive they were. Ryu, every fight, he would Destiny inwards, reveal everybody on the side of their opponents of SK, and then he would just pick one target, and very often was Fox without the Zonias, and they would just pop him. And that eventually got Hyanin fed, and then eventually he could solo kill Candy Panda in the back of the fight there. And yeah, fantastic performance from H2k getting back into that game, because they were falling behind, but you know, Flash Timmers followed up by Destino.
Take a look at the stats there, Crepo. 96% kill participation, 25 KDA. I mean,
yeah, he was the man of the match.
Hyanin really cleaned up, but again, I think in my mind, it was because of Ryu's Twisted Fate that they had those opportunities. You know, Kasing always found Fox, always found Candy Panda in those fights, and if Power of Evil is put in the same position where people can jump on him, then how is he and Unicorns of Love going to pull themselves back? It feels like this is a stylistic mismatch between URL and H2k.
He does have a habit of playing somewhat immobile champions in the mid lane, and we saw yesterday H2k can punish it, although both these supports can play Annie very well. So if you see a lot of support bans, might actually become a contested pick to an extent. However, if both teams are very adept at playing with the Annie, they might actually know how to play against it and counter it as well. Because I felt sometimes SK made it a little easy to fall prey to that Flash Tibbers, followed by Destiny engage. Definitely have to itemize correctly, and UOL is definitely still rank up compared to SK Gaming so far in the split, but we'll have to see which H2k shows up.
Yeah, it's definitely the case, and which UOL is going to show up as well.
Chaos or...
We're getting close to picks and bans here. Unicorns of Love on the blue side, the #2 team from the spring split, who got handed one of the heaviest losses of the summer from Origin yesterday. H2k, on the other hand, had to fight real hard for their win. Let's say signature champions to an extent being banned out, the Fizz taken away, as well as the Callista and Cogmore as the reply. That's something that's becoming more and more common against Power of Evil.
Yeah, and how early will you see the Sivir picked in this matchup? Both teams have played it, varying degrees of success. Hyanin just showed how valuable it was, and we saw it earlier today as well, insta-like first rotation, and I think Sivir is one of the strongest AD carries in the current meta game. He does well. Morgana ban out, you almost have to do that as a respect ban against Hillisang. Now H2k is forced to ban Ryze. Unless they have something up their sleeves.
Well, let's find out. Fnatic managed to play around the Ryze. They ran Cho'Gath into it.
Still risky though.
Of course, yes. I'm not entirely a fan of the Cho'Gath pick. However, it worked for them. You can see H2k, 5 seconds left, a number of priority picks. They banned away Rek'Sai from UOL. Don't maybe? Ban Ryze. No. Gragas maybe first pick. Let's see what Unicorns decides.
I like the third ban on blue side Rek'Sai because this puts pressure on the third ban on H2k side. to get the Gragas potentially, but then they don't use it to get the jungler. So I almost feel that's like a wasted Rek'Sai ban right now. Yes, Lulix does prioritize the champion over Gragas a lot, but you lose yourself a tier 1 jungler. Then again, it's Kiki's.
Yeah.
He has a pocket full of niche junglers that he can whip out.
It's really funny because we came into the spring split talking about Unicorns of Love and their weird and wonderful picks, and actually the majority of the splits, they didn't do it. It was actually the odd occasion where they ran those strange champions. They've only run the poke comps and that top lane Nocturne, which is the one that really screams oddball.
Lulix.
Let's see if they change their mind there.
He's wondering if he's walked into a trap here, like I'm getting gifted this Gragas. Do I really want it? Well, the answer is yes, even though he was slightly nerfed. Lost a little weight, collision weight, radius, or radii. Got nerfed a bit, both going forward as when he connects. And Echo is still open. Power of Evil? I feel like that's a player that could be a good Echo player.
Could be. It's not something we've seen him do a whole lot. Echo actually went neither picked nor banned in the previous game. That was the first one of the 10 in week 3. And with Power of Evil locking it in and no jungler secured yet for Unicorns of Love. And the reason I'm highlighting that, we've seen it in both of those roles.
And actually, Kiki sounds like an Echo player more than Power of Evil. And the Maokai locked in here for Vizichachi, putting him on the tank. And I really like Sivir Maokai together. I feel it meshes well with pretty much any composition you want to run. You have your tank presence, you have your engage, you have your targeted CC, and it can get anywhere it wants in the fight thanks to On the Hunt. Spell Shield can negate a lot of H2k's power already. Dodge a barrel, dodge a hook. Hovering Diana here, that's what I mentioned earlier when Pepinero was forced to pick something into Echo. Potential hover.
Don't go for it though.
Yeah. Odoamne wants his Rumble again. Starts spitting more flame.
Well, Odoamne's got his hands on Rumble in the majority of his games this split. Doing very, very well with them. And we'll see if he can do that again. I really just want to highlight that Maokai from Vizichachi one more time because 1 win, 1 loss, but a 95% kill participation. When Chachi runs Maokai, he finds a way to be with his team, be involved the entire game long. Hylissang's going to get that Annie. That's what you were talking about earlier. With Thresh, early pick from H2k, no priority. So, is this jungle? Is this mid lane? One more pick from UOL and we'll find out what it'll be.
I almost feel like the Echo's going to go end up in the jungle. Power Evil's going to go back to one of his staple picks. I mean, we have the likes of Cassiopeia and Azir both being open. Cassiopeia is very hard to play in this composition though. And get caught pretty easily by a lot of things. Goes for the Orianna, it seems. Yeah, I like that actually. A little low on the damage front to an extent. He'll need a couple items to get into the game, but come mid to get late game, when H2k is setting up for the 3rd or 4th dragon, then Unicorns, they will have such a fantastic team fight.
And we'll see if Hylissang can stun people up long enough. The kick is to chrono break into the team. H2k have the counter pick available. Yesterday they ran Twisted Fate into the Victor Vayne combo of SK, and it worked wonders. What does Ryu want to run into Orianna and Echo? Covered Diana a moment or two ago. And also, what is Kikis going to build? Because when Airwax ran it, he went full tank.
Yeah, I'm just going to zone out there and go back to what you just said. Orianna Echo. I have this dirty combo in mind. I wonder if Echo, when he has the ball on top of himself and he goes back in time, if he keeps that Orianna ball, because then you can do some... I don't even know. I just want to know right now. I just want to see it. I really hope it works that way, and I really hope Unicorns of Love know what's going to happen, because I don't want to see Kiki's shift back into the enemy team, drop the ball on the floor, and then Power Reveal just ulties thin air.
Oh, I truly wish you guys could have seen the look on Crepo's face when he realized that potential combination. And we'll see whether or not Unicorns of Love can get that ball delivery system of Echo into the middle of the team fight. Follow it up with all the damage and then chrono break out. The last pick from H2k was Lulu. Safe pick and very much, let's let Hjarnan carry the game. He did it yesterday. Let's try it again.
Now I like the Lulu pickup here to augment Hjarnan's offensive potential and just keep him a little bit safe. Even matchup in the mid lane, Lulu Orianna, that's as far away from solo kills as we're ever going to get, I feel. Double sustain matchup, likely to run flasks. So we'll need some interaction from the jungler. They can get those kills, but Might also just turn up top and try to camp Oduwamne, shut him down.
Well, we'll find out if they can shut him down because the lineups are locked in and it's time to hit the rift and settle the score between the Unicorns of Love and H2k.
H2k and Newer, we have completely different styles.
H2k has always been one of the teams that we have been struggling with.
I can play as aggressive as I want, and especially I will snowball.
They have a really strong methodical style going for the objectives, and we sometimes have trouble handling that.
I don't know if they just go ham all the time because they don't really want to learn how to play strategically.
Strong words from Hyonin as we load onto the rift for our match of the week. Unicorns of Love looking to get a win over H2k and look for that 1-1. H2k looking to go 2-0 on the week, and we'll see who can pull it off. Jungle Echo from Kikis.
Yeah, and you said it, strong words from Yarn, and I hope he can back it up too, because playing a Jinx in a composition like Sivir Maokai, Annie, Orianna follow-up, and even Echo with parallel conversion, that's a lot of crowd control heading your way, and you don't necessarily have too much peel.
I definitely don't, but take a look at the percentage of team's damage for each of the respective roles. You can see how Chachi's actually been one of the carries here for UOL.
So very big stylistic difference here. We see that the Unicorns rely on Power of Evil in a lot of those games to get the poke damage repetitively coming in here. Whereas we see why Oduwamne likes this Rumble, because many of these games he got incredibly fed and simply carried and started these 2v4 fights that they ended up winning. So are the Unicorns going to react and try and shut down Oduwamne? Will H2k predict this, and will this open up enough time for Hjarnan to farm in the meanwhile? They want to get away from that lane. Annie Sivir, usually Sivir lanes are pretty weak, but the addition of Annie allows a double poke to come out and be very potent and punish a lot of misposition.
We do see that both of the teams are looking like they want to swap themselves. So Kikis is starting down on the golems. Hjarnan and Kasing up top. We'll see how they handle the Krugs.
Nice. Auto attack, play to reset. AoE. AoE.
King of level 2s with us.
Wait for a second play. Beautiful.
What is the
grade? Oh, that's beautiful. And then you single it out. That's
does it get better than that?
Maybe one more rocket AoE. It's nitpicking.
It's never good enough.
No, I think this is almost
Your
perfect.
standards are too high, Crepo.
And I think Hjarnan may have picked up 3 creeps there. Of course, it doesn't matter because we're going to an empty lane, and one day we will see a team catch their enemies off guard by the perfect golems. And that day I will rejoice.
And
until then, we're going to watch this lane swap.
You can win a game if you do the perfect golems. 100%, that's it. GG no re.
Why not? PvE.
So PvE for both of the AD carries.
PoE for the Unicorns.
PoE is going to have the help of the SUP. Hylissang, flash available, stun charged up. Chachi's got level 2.
He's playing back though. He knows if you don't see the support on the minimap in the bot lane, it's very likely it is roaming to the mid lane.
You can tell by his positioning as well.
Yeah, you always lean to your strong side. You ward your weak side and you lean to your strong side, and you have to be very careful. So these roams, they used to work. Initially, when teams started lane swapping, I went to like these 4-0 scenarios. The reaction was, let's not go for 4-0 2 standard. We'll peel off some guys. Let's go for a dive here. But Kikis is still, he's on his weak side. Why is he on his weak side?
Find out. H2k going to look to control the blue Sentinel. Push away Unicorns of Love. Flame Choppers is going to get sidestepped here from Visit Chachi, but the distance connects onto Hylissang. He's flayed backwards. The body slam from Lulex connects, and first blood to the fat man. Kikis is trying to run away. He will grab himself a kill on the board and flash over the wall. Double, triple flash from H2k. It's a 2-for-1 trade, and the red buff lands, I believe, in the hands of Oduwamne. And that was a dramatic start to the game.
H2k initiate this lane swap, and they have Lulex start at his blue buff, and this catches UOL off guard, and that's why Kikis was on his weak side. UOL didn't want to go for the 4v0 lane swap, so they opted to put 3 members under their tower, hopefully get there safely and then defend. But the H2k members were already waiting in the wings, and they punished. That's what you have to do. You have to cut off the blood supply before it reaches that tower, because then they can posture around the tower 3-man, and it's very hard to dive, and you have to be very skilled at diving, especially against Echo with parallel convergence. But yeah, the hook got Hylissang. It started the fight. Yes, Kikis picks up 1 kill, but down again. Fantastic start by H2k.
And red buff over to Oda as well. We'll see if that comes into effect, depending on which lane he ends up in.
And I feel like it costs too much time going for that roam in the mid lane. That time, if that was used to just sending those members straight to the top lane, they could have been there. They could have been safe, but they weren't. Let's watch that again. Oh no, we're back into game.
That's it.
Even better.
And
live.
pause has happened, and it looks like Kissing is going to have the support here. Kissing, he's looking for more. He wants to cut down Chachi. He's flayed him. He's death sensed him. He's chomped him. Even the zap connects. Chachi, 200 hit points, 150. Auto attack after auto attack. One more rocket. Not going to be enough. And Chachi has to flash away, eating another death sentence as Kissing is setting up H2k.
Only 3 members on the map still have their flash up, and we're only 4 minutes, 25 seconds into the game.
I love it.
We expected chaos from the Unicorns. But H2k, as Yarnan said, maybe they're not ready to play strategically just yet, but we are.
Yarnan, 0-0-2. Got some assists to work out. Now Power of Evil. Oh, he's going to get body slammed down. Flash is available, maybe a little too late. Flash forward from Ryu. Another kill to H2k.
I just want to show how well played by Ryu that was. He polymorphed Power of Evil when the body slam came in, making sure it connects. You get the flash body slam come in, you have the barrel come in and do all the damage, and then apply the red buff slow. And then even if Power of Evil flashes later, Ryu can match that with a flash of his own. A beautiful execution. If it wasn't that polymorph, then Power of Evil could have dodged the body slam perhaps. Could have been a whole different tale. Oda Omni casually spitting flame with a double buff in the bot lane somehow. Why not?
5.5 minutes in, and H2k have got themselves a 1,000 gold lead. Unicorns of Love, though, as a team, are actually traditionally quite slow out the gates. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact they have those scaling poke comps. And for H2k, they traditionally accelerate after 10 minutes. Let's see if they can do that again, considering the lane swaps, and now you can see the duo of H2k coming down bottom.
And this is what you have to do in this matchup. Yes, it looks like easy spell shield for Vardax, who, by the way, was farming all this time in the bot lane. But then you get the cooldown advantage on the Thresh, because hook will always be shorter cooldown than spell shield, and then you want to get the repeat hook out there. Then you can zone them off creeps for 6 seconds.
And of course, now that these top laners are coming toe-to-toe, there's your comparison. Damage percentage on the respective teams. Kill percentage on the respective teams. Kill participation, rather. Oda secures less kills, but it sure as hell helps melt people down quicker.
Chachi with the steals, and Yarnan putting out the rocket poke here. Level 5 starting to outrange a bit. Some poke. Ooh. Kissing got denied cannon privilege. If you miss one cannon, you're done. AD carry start taking him off you instead.
Well, we do see that Vardax is yet to back. He's on 40 CS, currently sitting on 1,400 gold, so it's hurting against Yarnan.
Yeah, he wants that BF sword.
If he can farm up a little bit more, that might help get a little bit more balance in this lane.
But look at the mirrored vision. Double pink wards on one line, matched by an offensive line of green wards in front of that, securing Dragon Vision in addition to that Scuttle Crab. Kissing comes in, and H2k objectives go hand in hand. They are 3-1 right now, and they pick up the first dragon at 7 minutes. This speeds up the game, because the next dragon will spawn at 30 minutes already. Start snowballing their lead.
Yesterday, H2k didn't touch a dragon.
They didn't need to.
From SK.
Well, they kind of needed to. But they got away with it.
Kickers is stood on top of a ward, so Odomo is aware of that. Does not have access to his ultimate yet. However, he's very, very close in experience.
And again, this is H2k playing passive on their weak side, because they just spent some resources down on the bottom getting that dragon. You have to remember that. That takes time, that takes HP from your jungler. He's not going to be able to react. So you have to play passive on your weak side, which is the top lane for Odawane. Does it this time. Didn't do it yesterday. Does it this time.
And we actually heard from Niels earlier today, highlighting how different it is playing on stage, where you don't hit every last minion, where you don't push as hard as you can. Every single decision you make has to be calculated. Ryu is going to avoid the parallel convergence, and the gank attempt, 3-man gank attempt, ends up being thwarted. That was a ghost and flash from Hylissang, by the way. 2 utility summoners, which only just noticed.
Yeah, I like the adaptation because it allows him to not have to posture too much in the front of the fight. We saw it in some of the Unicorn games where Hylissang was starting to get focused in the mid game to deny that Flash Tipper's opportunity. Now he can speed himself up with Ghost and then go in and find those crucial targets. He wants to find Yarnan in these fights. Possibly Odoamne, but definitely Yarnan. And H2k will try to keep him alive.
Interesting itemization from Yarnan. We'll see how the additional move speed and attack speed plays in his favor, if he can get to a tower, of course.
Now he realizes that he can no longer handle that 2v2 all too well or not get too much of an advantage here. So he buys boots for mobility and extra attack speed. And he says, okay, you guys can take bottom tower. We don't really want to lose too much on the lane, so we'll just go top.
So let's see, Lulex, he's... Oh, another flash body slam. He's thrown Power of Evil into the waiting hands of Ryu. We do see Power of Evil survive a few seconds longer, but a well-executed
combo by Lulex, even though Gragas got nerfed. He lands that body slam flash. Meanwhile, in the top lane, like we were talking about, Yarnan solo kills that tower. Odoamne stalled. He used Equalizer on the bottom to get that wave down. And H2k plays around their weaknesses so well, in my opinion. They just move Yarnan around the map, letting him pick up gold so he can scale into the game. They sacrifice Odoamne a bit, but he has the utility from Rumble. So here decides to go in.
Look at this, Chachi teleported in. Omni's low, no equalizer, Ryu was nearby. Teleport used from Vizichachi.
And our opening statement was, if you neutralize Power of Evil, if you keep him down, will the Unicorns be able to come out on top?
Well, we're gonna find out because Power of Evil is down. Take a look at the goal difference that these teams have traditionally. H2k are almost ahead of their opponents in almost every game at the 10, 15, 20, 25-minute mark, and you can see it represented. Traditionally at 10 minutes, it's 800 gold. Right now, it's closer to 3,000 golds.
So UOL have always played this slow ramp-up style. Eventually, their opponents can't break them down enough to the point where they hit their power spikes with the Varus and the Kog'Maw, you know, in the middle lane poking. I don't actually think Power Evil played the Varus, but he played a lot of Kog'Maw.
Yeah, Varus and Spring Split.
Yeah. And then he hits his stride, then he gets ahead, but Orianna put behind here. 0-2 already, gets some CS, but being kept down.
Yeah, I want to also step back. If you look at UOL in summer, they've fallen behind opponents and been able to pull back with the exception of Fnatic. I'm going to disregard the Origin game because of how heavily one-sided that was, but against Fnatic, they just got caught out. That was an early box from Kasing, doesn't catch out, but for Unicorns, it seems when they play stronger teams, that passive playstyle is not good enough. It's worked against the bottom half of the table, but not the top half.
Yeah, H2k showing up big, immediately grouping for another tower here. They're not giving Unicorns any time to breathe. They want to group up as well, though. They have a Sivir composition where you want to group. They have a Sivir Maokai that just wants to dive in, so H2k will have to tread lightly.
I like the way Hyonan has played this, though. Considering you went pickaxe, he doesn't really want to fight toe-to-toe the Annie-Sivir. Now that Vardex has got himself the pickaxe and the BF sword, Hionan's got around 1,300 gold, so moving his way to BF sword. But as I say that, we may have a team fight on the hunt, thrown down. Vardex has used Spell Shield very, very early. Odoamne's got caught up by the parallel convergence. He will take the Lantern to safety as he splits up Unicorns of Love with the Equalizer. The Super Mega Death Rocket splashes across Unicorns of Love as they pick up a kill onto Hylissang. Kasing is tanking up the UOL team, but they get out, and Wild Growth was not even needed.
Poor Hylissang is watching that fight, and the hook is going for Kikis. Kikis uses Chrono Breaker to dash it back in time, and then Hylissang eats the hook, and he gets focused down. Wasn't even meant for him. Kasing landing another hook here, and UOL forced to use On the Hunt defensively, and that's usually not a good sign. Such a powerful tool, such utility Sivir brings to the table, but good engage by H2k. Odoamne almost went down. Lantern out, I believe.
And overall, H2k still extend that gold lead. Up to 4,000 gold, just shy of, at 12.5 minutes. That is a very, very big advantage.
Now we did see what a potential shockwave could do once Power of Evil gets some items, but he's trailing behind in farm. Vardex is now getting poked out by Ryu. Ryu again. He used to be such a dominant mid laner, but he's taken more of a utility role in H2k right now. Yesterday, yes, he played the assassin in TF, but he set up the fights that way. Now he's setting up the fights a different way. Doesn't do too much of his team's damage, but he He's so paramount to their victories. Always knows exactly what to do and then does it. No hesitation.
No, none at all. Kikis comes in, he steals it! Kikis steals the dragon from under H2k's nose. And I want to highlight the fact that he has gone for the tank build thus far. Cinder Hulk into Kindle Gem.
Yeah, tank CDR.
I was wondering what he wanted. Yeah, seems to be the case.
Especially against this team. If you go full squish, you'll just get blown up immediately. Rely on your base stats, on your passive, and this is good for the Unicorns. Gives them some breathing room yet again. Slows down H2k. What they need to do. Slow down H2k, speed themselves up with On the Hunt later, find an opening, and don't hesitate.
Unicorns, if there was a team that's not going to hesitate, I think they have the ability. But they need to claw back this gold lead. Slowly but surely. Tower helping out. Still 2,000 gold down. Still down a big amount of CS in that top lane. Under one is sitting pretty. And they have to wait for Chachi to get tanky. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah, Chachi usually, as the stats show, doesn't do too much of his team's damage, but plays more of a distracting, tanky role. He's done 25 CS now. Sword Shoes finished. Haunting Guy's finished. Is Odoamne get to a point again where he reduces so much magic resistance that he's dealing 2 damage? Perhaps not this game, but...
It's great to see Odoamne yesterday because he fell behind against SK. But as the game progressed, he still found ways to combo with his team so effectively. And Odoamne is definitely trending heavily. Hjarnen's in trouble. Can he get to the lantern? He does manage to make it out. Flashes and catches it. Parallel conversion stuns nobody up, but Unicorns get the tower. Now we see Power of Evil knocked into the middle of the team and things are getting messy. Equalizer comes out and it splits UOL. That means that the Shockwave is going to throw Odoamne backwards. Super Mega Death Rocket did not connect anyone from UOL, so Hjarnen looking to get excited. Kikis, he chrono breaks back in, but he hasn't got the kill yet. There's no AP. Boomerang Blade doesn't connect, and Hjarnen, he does get excited. With the help of Ryu, they've ended up trading 1 for 2. Another kill. This time, no passive excitement here for Jinx. Quadra kill for Ryu. The extended team fight going in H2k's favor.
Oh, they gave that kill to Ryu. You saw them slow down, and Ryu with the taunt right afterwards. Quadra kill from the normally utility mid laner that is Ryu. And yeah, H2k dominant fight here. Almost is the word for UOL. Chrono Break went in, almost finished somebody off. Flash Sabers went in, almost finished Vardax. Power of Evil uses ultimate right there, and he almost survived, but he didn't. See, Hjarnen gets Lantern out, gets a shield. Watch Blue X come in. Flash body slam again on Power of Evil. This is the 3rd time in a row right now. Kasing goes out, Rocket goes wide. Power of Evil turns around the flame spitter right here. This is really cool interaction. But Ryu, watch Ryu, he's untouched so far, so he said, okay, this guy I'm gonna kill. Alright, I'm done. Who's next? Alright, we see Kikis in the midst. But he's looking for a sniper Power of Evil right now. That's what Ryu's looking for. Blue X distracts his team, that's fine. Kikis goes back in, so Ryu has to turn around, and I love the fake out that he does here, because he knows Spell Shield's gonna come, so he doesn't aim for Vardax, but instead he snipes Power of Evil instead, and then he gets donated a quarter kill. A little bit of a taunt in there, and yeah, 6,000 gold lead for H2k.
Yeah, and we saw that graph earlier about the average gold leads. And H2k at 15 minutes were around 1,800 gold up. This game, they're closer to 5,000 gold up. So H2k gonna lose another tower. Keep in mind they're getting these kills, they're getting these advantages, but they are hemorrhaging towers. Look at middle lane. He's being shoved down and gonna trade top, outer for a lot of damage in this inner turret. It doesn't look like they're gonna stick around to kill
these are not the members you want pushing towers for H2k. You want the Jinx soloing tower and then having the others defend with wave clear, but at this point it doesn't really matter. Because they're looking for a bit of a collapse here. They send Echo back, they send Maokai back, so Unicorns they have to stop pushing. Sweep the brush to get out safely. H2k working on vision again. I think they'll set up some Baron vision, just preliminarily, a little bit, and then move towards the dragon, pick that up, and then see if they can win another fight. Look at Ryu.
6-0-1. Athenes, Needlessly Large Rod, and Dragon in a minute and a half. H2k have the opportunity to get vision control.
Hjarnen is 0-0-5 as a hyper carry, and his supportive mid laner.
Kikis has been caught out. He's got the Flame Chompers, and Lulex, he lands the explosive cast, but Kikis chrono breaks out.
Back in time. Look at Odoamne. He's gonna burn down this tree.
Equalizer will be up in a few seconds. Odoamne, can he get the kill? Chachi is trying to reduce the damage with that Vengeful Maelstrom. I don't think it's going to be enough. Odoamne doesn't even need an ultimate. He's going to throw down another Flame Spitter. If he can line it up, Vizichachi made that one close. The heal from the passive did work out at 5x. My word, Kasing, he lands another death sentence. And H2k secure their 4th tower of the game.
One spell shield is simply not enough at this point to keep the Unicorns alive. Forest Fire on the bot lane kills Vizichachi. Bardax blocks one spell, gets hit by the hook right after, and H2k, they're snowballing their advantage here.
Origin made Unicorns of Love look like a bottom of the table team yesterday. H2k trying to do the same. Power of Evil's caught out by everything. He gets sniped by the Mega Death Rocket. Odoamne's on the back line. He gets caught by Chachi. He's already used the equalizer, and the pop from the Maelstrom will secure at least 1 kill for UOL. But how much will it help? Ryu's looking for more. Glitzerlance does not stipe the big tree, but H2k will be happy with the trade. They get another tower.
Another tower. Johnny gets excited. Decide to go in, and again, a couple of kills and an objective. Every time H2k ties their chaos to an objective at least. Constantly thinking about how they can close out this game. They're moving into the dragon.
Lost on was stolen. Kikis this time around.
Hillsing has Splash and Tibbers.
Let's see, going down 500, secured by Lulex. But Lulex's Gragas has been phenomenal this game. Every flash body slam is connected, every explosive cask is connected, and when you compare it to, I think, Frederick earlier, who was missing a lot, what a big impact. You'll actually see Lulex connecting right now.
Yeah, another body slam. This time he doesn't need his flash to land that. Equalizer's in it, zoning in the backline. Yes, Vizichachi gets Odoamne, it doesn't matter. Hjarden is staying alive in these fights. He's the hyper carry for H2k later in the fight, and Ryu just... He's the utility mid laner as Wu, relying usually on your base damage, but when you get this far ahead and you have the Ludens and the Athenes, that's not only the base damage you're doing a whole lot of damage. Aegis of the Legion picked up now as well on Lulex, and as you said, those body slam flashes coming out of Lulex, we've seen a lot of Gragas players miss them, hitting some minions, not quite connecting, but he knows how to play this champion.
I think Lulex is one of the more underrated junglers in the European region. Oftentimes puts up great performances. We finally see Vizichachi complete his first big item. Righteous Glory at 21 minutes, but he's so far behind the tankiness curve he needs to be on. Kikis has been sitting on a Kindle Gem and Cinder Hulk for the longest of times. Truthfully, UOL just need to wave clear of Orianna and Sivir to try farm their way back into a...
They're not aware of the ward in the Baron Pit. Now they are. Just need to clean out the vision. There's one more ward in there that UOL wants to sneak in. It's going to buy them some time. Otherwise they would be face checking by now. H2k is a smart team, but they're not going to endlessly wait for the face check. It's not going to happen immediately. They'll fan out again, push in the lanes, try again, and that's almost how you can use the enemy's team's movements to locate the wards they have. Because people always flinch once you walk back into vision. And then okay, roughly this area, this is where they have a ward, and eventually you'll figure it out. In worst case, you just wait 3 minutes. If you haven't seen them walk in again, then you know their wards are dead. You can try it again.
UOL definitely want to wait quite a few minutes. 7,000 gold down, 22 minutes in. Here's the Righteous Glory. Odoamne, he throws out the equalizer. Hylissang's being burned down. There is an hourglass available, and Odoamne uses it. Here comes Ryu. Wild Growth, will it get in range? He's flashed for it. Now Vizichachi and Power of Evil trying to get Odoamne down. We'll already see the rockets coming out. Ryu looking for more. Hylissang wants to re-engage, and Ryu's caught out. He flash engaged for that one. But that's 2 big kills for Unicorns of Love, and the shutdown gold going to Vizichachi.
Yeah, I really feel this is where H2k should have looked for a cross-map objective. Ryu wanted to save his teammate, noble cause. Could have just looked away and let Odoamne buy some time. They got a little greedy, and this is exactly what Unicorns need. They need to find these picks where H2k oversteps their boundaries and gets punished, because if they wait too long and they get locked in these double lane pushes, then it's too late. Because then H2k will not give them any room for catches like this. And Chachi got the shutdown as well. He gets some more gold. He's still pretty tanky.
Got a lot more gold. He's sitting on 1,200 at the moment, Crepo. So, big swing now for UOL. They've cut almost all of the tempo that H2k had built up. To be fair, they're still 6k gold down. And a couple towers and dragon. We do see UOL stalling the game out at those inner turrets. Only one left standing in the top lane, and Lulex put a lot of work into it. So, Odoamne does have Equalizer available. I think he's going to throw it down. He has. There's going to be flames spittering onto Hylissang. Landing a few of those Electro Harpoons. So, no ultimate available if a fight breaks out, but I don't feel there will be.
Let's take a look at the vision right now that H2k has around the Baron area. Double pink wards, backed up, or in front of it, a line of green wards, exactly what you need to see if unicorns are about to face check. And they have the trinket ready, the Oracle Lens from Kasing. So they want to push in mid lane right now, have Odo in the top lane, avoid getting caught here. This is a crucial point. If this mid lane gets pushed beyond this point, then they can turn into the Baron area, clean the vision, and force the face check.
So there's no equalizers. Odoamne's caught really on the wrong side of his team. But H2k still with a strong advantage. Parallel Convergence comes out. Kikis does not follow it in. Look at the items really quickly. Hjarnan, Phantom Dancer, IH, and that Vamp Scepter. Vardek still yet to complete the Shiv. And no real armor to speak of on the side of UOL. Let's see if they can make something happen. Kikis is on the front line. He's got the backup of Chrono Break to peel away. And Unicorns tentatively looking for a team fight. Dragon's up in a minute, so I think H2k will play safe until then.
And I have to say, Prawley has done a lot of work with this team. If you look at how they started initially and where they are right now and the way they play a controlled macro type of style in League of Legends, and it's working. Odoamne's going in. Wow,
he's flashed in for the Flame Spitter. We do see the Death Rocket connect. Lulex is holding on to his explosive cast until that second, catches Hylissang and burns him down. H2k.
They're not even waiting for the face check. They're bringing the face check towards the unicorns. They have the pick of the litter. Do you want Baron? Do you want Dragon? We can have it all.
Bringing the face check to Unicorns of Love. I really like that one. H2k considering more.
We're not going to wait for you to run into us. That's silly. Just walk up and kill you instead.
So they have maintained control of vision in the pit. They're going to start this one off. Take a look at the peeling power H2k put together. Kasing actually can miss a death sentence, it appears.
There was a flash involved.
Gets you a oh, thank you for that one. Kikis saves himself. But no Baron. So Unicorns stop the attempt, get some pink wards.
And this was good by Vardek. Scrying usually prevents crying. If you can't peek into that Baron pit and you have to face check, a whole lot of tears are gonna flow into that river. But they have to burn the flash on the jungler, and then the next time, Unicorns might not even be able to stop the Baron because H2k can do it in full vision because the jungler can't get in.
So Odoamne is in trouble. He does not actually get hit by that Tibbers. Hylissang is going to try run him down with Vizicachi. Goes golden for a few more seconds. Kasing is trying to get into range. Let's see if the lantern can be found. Odoamne is trying to get in range. He's been rooted in place and he gets burned down by the big bad bear.
Odoamne.
Fireballs of Hylissang.
A little bit too far yet again. And there's no cross-map potential here for H2k. Rio's pushing in the bot lane. Hjarnan was in the jungle, so there's no counter objective. So pretty much a free death, and you know, they lose some tempo, but they have a lot of tempo to lose. 7,000 gold in the lead right now. 13-6. 5 towers to 3, 3 dragons to 1.
Like everything is looking good. Everything's looking good for H2k. We'll see Ryu being gifted the red buff here. Blue buff, rather. 209 CS. We still see Odoamne with a strong CS advantage. Picked up a Void Staff. So going for that very heavy MR reduction build, which we've seen him do in a head.
We see that this also gives Hjarnan the opportunity to go for the super late game build with the IH Phantom Dancer. He doesn't need to rush that last Whisper quickly. He doesn't need the shift for extra wave clear because H2k is putting all the pressure, whereas Vardax, he was forced to an extent to buy that shift. Yes, he will have Last Whisper quicker, but if this game for some reason drags out, more beneficial late game build will definitely be on Hjarnan, and it will be dealing a lot of damage later in the game.
And on the preferential late game AD carry as well. They do bring different things to their team. We'll see whether or not the utility Vardax offers will help Power of Evil and Kikis. We've not seen the ball delivery system of Echo or even Maokai into H2k, both of them with an easy way into H2k. But H2k seldom provide an opportunity to get engaged on. They tend to position really well and effectively.
Rek'Sai banned out, no Tremor sense, so a different sense of echolocation
for the Unicorns.
Not paying off quite yet.
No, it is not. 1, 2, 3. These kickers can count. We'll see whether or not they can secure their 4th tower of the game. As Vardex
Odoamne flanking with the teleport.
Couple of auto attacks down. Teleport's coming into the river. Hylissang looking for Odoamne. He does manage to stun him up, and Odoamne goes golden with the flames being spacked out. He should get time to get the equalizer out as he does. Wild Growth was used to keep him alive. Now Vardex defensively flashing away. Odoamne, the only one I think that was caught by that shockwave. So 2 kills for H2k. Power of Evil gets 1, but Hylissang, Power of Evil, and Kickers are running away. The Chrono Break I think is still available there for Kickers. It's not being used. Double kill for Hyanin. Get excited, run them down, and kill the Power Ponies. Kickers may stall out for a few seconds, killed in Whimsy. A 1 for 4 as H2k punish UOL.
Fantastic teleport by Odoamne. Unicorns tried to burst him down before he could lay down the equalizer, before he could use the Zhonya's, but he managed to barely get that Zhonya's off, and that bought enough time for them to smart cast that Rumble ulti, immediately get it out, and Lantern saves him. Even keeps him alive. Eventually he drops in the fight, but he did his duty, his job as one of the initial former shot callers for H2k. Kasing now joined in a little bit with that, and it's working out beautifully. Watch that again. Unicorn's pausing for the tower, and immediate reaction. Teleport comes in. They want Odo. He looks like he even flashes for it. Almost get him down, but then the Zhonya's. And if you're bunched up around the Rumble, Lantern comes in, Shield comes in. Hyanin is untouched, Ryu's untouched. You have to land a whole lot of spells if you want to win this fight. I mean, Odoamne already used all his spells, right? So it doesn't matter if he goes down. He's done his job. Hyanin gets poked to half HP, but eventually gets a reset, and then there's nowhere Power Eagle's going to go.
Great play from H2k. So they got the Baron after this team fight. We saw Ryu securing the top inner turret, which Lulux had a lot of work on earlier. And now with the Siege minions, they're also sitting their sights onto inhibitor turret. 2 shots drops Vardex to 50% HP with the aid of Lulu.
Now this is where the late game Hyper K from Jinx comes in. She has such a big range, courtesy of her rockets, and then the shield not only protects her from damage, also gives her an auto attack amplifier every time you fire that rocket. A Pixie travels with it against champions. She deals so much damage. Eventually this tower is going to fall. You see how long it takes for many teams to get that first Nexus tower, that first inhibitor tower down. Doesn't take that long for H2k, it seems.
Definitely not, and a marked improvement from yesterday. Kickers takes a couple of rockets over the wall from Hyanin.
They want a ball delivery system on Vizicachi. Doesn't have flash, but he wants a twisted advance. Find a carry, immediate Orianna ulti.
This is the one time that H2k could be in trouble. If they group up for a shockwave.
Hylissang wants his flash too.
It's the
Has the
only
distortion
one.
boots.
Only way for UOL. As long as H2k do not group up as 5, look at them fanning out in lane. The shockwave hits nothing. Equalizer splits away UOL from the tower, and H2k just barrel their way in. Ryu zoning the entire team, and inhibitors secured.
Hyanin with the fake out. He walks up as if he's going to take that tower. Well, this is where Power of Evil has positioned the ball, and then immediately goes back out. Forces the Orianna ulti. Defensive ulti then from Odoamne comes out. And that's enough to simply take the tower, win that fight. Inhib swiftly follows. Yeah. Look at the gold, Trevor.
Oh, it's horrible. 12,000 gold in the lead. Dragon's up in 5 seconds, and Lulux is hanging around to take it back. He's well, we'll see. Look at the mini-map. You can see a couple members of UOL.
A lot of anticipation rather for this match of the week. We had some questions. You know, what unicorns are going to show up? Is H2k's methodical style going to neutralize the unicorns like they said in the interview in the feature before? And so far it has.
We heard Hyanin also talking. UOL don't really play a strategic game, and it's very true. They are a raw feel kind of team. If a player gets ahead, that player tends to dictate what the Unicorns do. Unicorns still looking for a team fight. I'm not sure they really want this one. It's stolen once more. Kikis goes in, he chronos out, and they steal a dragon. It's a small consolation prize.
This could have been 5 dragons for H2k very easily by now, but 2 steals from Kikis keep the dreams alive. Ever so faintly. Looking at Hyanin, he doesn't feel the need to buy a Lost Whisper. Not enough armor on unicorns. He says, I just want to stay alive. I buy the Bloodthirster. Give me the more shields. Get the Quicksilver Sash if I ever make a mistake and I get caught somehow. I haven't died yet. He has the Quicksilver Sash.
We can take a look at that.
Here we go.
Oda has jumped in, equalizer. Shockwave, I think, didn't even get cast. His power reveal was dead before it could. Lulex is zoning away for Ryu. Oda running them down. Chachi gets cut like a giant redwood, and Vardax gets fried on the base steps. Hylissang eats a massive crit and gets the regen from the fountain. 4 members down, H2k, super minions to work with. They set their sights onto the Nexus turrets, and at 34 minutes, look to go undefeated in week number 3. They even kill Hylissang under the base for the ace. And
Systematic
H2k
destruction by H2k, and they convincingly take this game. 15,000 gold in the lead. H2k win the match of the week.
fantastic performance once more. Every single member of H2k is just performing exceptionally. You can maybe fault Oda being in lane a little bit wrong, but that's, again, that's the only thing I can think of.
If that's the thing you have to improve by next week, hey, please stop dying when we're 5,000 gold ahead. I'll take it. But Ryu, fantastic performance. I'm very, very happy to see him do this in two distinctly different styles. First with the TF, just porting in. Yes, he might die in the process, but always finds that priority target. Now he keeps his team alive, and when they're safe, it wasn't a bit of a rampage. Quadra kill in the mid lane right there. Went huge.
Kasing's Thresh lands multiple death sentence. Lulex and Gragas, I think, one of the most impressive flash body slam performances multiple times.
Body slam flash.
And all that way. And for Unicorns, Jungle Echo doesn't work out second time. Also, at the hands of H2k, and then just not on the same page.
And as the split progresses, we see more and more distinctive separation between the, I guess, almost top 3 teams now in the league. A little lower. I feel like Giants even have a better track record than the Unicorns right now, and that's something nobody expected so far.
Definitely not. We do see some cracks in the top teams, though, as Rockout were able to upset the apple cart and take Origin down. I'll talk about that in a moment or two, I'm sure. For H2k and Kasing, he had his feature come out this week, and he talked about the impact he's had on the team, the Kasing effect.
He said how close he was to calling it quits because he didn't get to the big league, didn't get to play with the big boys, and then eventually he got his chance, and well, he took it with both hands. Fantastic performance in both splits so far, and he seems to have really changed that team in H2k. Together with Prolly, the work they've done is fantastic. Their shot calling is just so solid. The way they play these games, they have a very solid approach towards League of Legends as a whole, and it's not chaos, it's calculated, meticulous, systematic destruction, and it neutralized the chaos of the Unicorns.
And I also feel like the team really respect one another exceptionally. Every single time we talk to them, they're always praising one another. They're always giving some credit to the other members of the team. Hyanan yesterday, after his fantastic performance, Shock said to him, you know, is it still Kasing? And he went, yes. Like, with no tongue in cheek. And yes, you know, you have to be enabled as an AD carry, but on the same token, they really do appreciate the work their teammates put in.
And they just have this really weird and fun team environment as well. If you get to know the guys personally a little bit, it's peculiar, to say the least. I always have fun just watching them from the outside, how they interact with each other, and just how like they treat each other. And just it's out in the feature as well, where Kasing goes like, yeah, you have the jokester of the team. We have Lulex and Hyanan. Then you have Ryu making the same face all the time. Ryu face, no space. And then you just have Odo being Odo. So this is this weird synergy, but it's working. And then amidst all that goofiness, you have Prolly trying to find a way between coaching and being their friend. It just works out.
I strongly suggest you follow the husband-wife combo of Hyanan and Kasing on Twitter, because they talk a lot. Anyways, we're going to throw it over to Pyrotechnics on stage for a closer look into how H2k closed out the week.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. I am, of course, joined by Odo being Odo. And we have a couple questions for you today. First of all, congratulations on your win. You're now second place, tied with Origin, which was the team you had your lone loss to all the way back in week 1. So I wanted to ask you guys, you as a whole team, what are your plans for this split? Where do you want to place? Where do you think you're going to place? Because you made third place last split, and where do you go from there?
Well, we want to repeat the performance at least, so we want at least top 3, obviously as high as possible, but I think if we get top 3 this split, it's going to be really good for us, and everyone's going to be happy with it.
Top 3 once again. Well, that's always a good goal to shoot for. Now, of course, there's a couple teams right now that are maybe a little bit of a danger zone for you guys. Obviously, Fnatic has been rough. Origin, you already lost to them once. What are you going to do to prepare for those teams? Because those seems to be the ones that are out of a lot of people's reach.
Well, we won't make any special preparations because when we lost against Origin, it was just a really poor showing from us, and our screen results weren't the best then, and the way we practiced wasn't the best. But we're working on it, and we just want to start practicing better, but we won't make any special preparations for them because if we just start practicing better and getting to the level we want to, I don't think it's going to be impossible to beat them.
A lot of level of trust there. I really, really like that. I respect it. So with that said, I want to get your opinion on something a little more fun because we've talked a little bit about top laners, and a lot of the times they sort of get left alone to their own devices. Not so much here in Europe. However, we have a lot of individually strong top laners, yourself included. If you had to just, at a glance, take a look at what the field looks like up there in Europe, who are your top 3 in the top lane?
As players?
Yes.
Probably myself, Huni, and Soaz, I guess. In no particular order.
A particular order? Well, we'll see if there is a particular order at the end of the split. Thank you once again for joining me at Owamne. Congratulations once more on your win. And of course, now we're going to send it over to the analyst desk to close out the day and wrap up the week.
Thank you so much, Pyra. Cheeky little smile there from Owamne. Happy with that. No particular order. Well dodged. And, well, good game by H2k. Once again, as we were watching it here, just doing what they do. But to be honest, Unicorns of Love and the inconsistency in this one, it just showed once again.
It's like, from my point of view, I'm so happy to watch a game like this, simply because it is how you predict it. You know Unicorns of Love strengths and weaknesses, and also for H2k's case. And H2k played like a game, like a solid game. That's like their standard. Like, they play solid, not many mistakes, and Unicorns Love kind of shine when they punish mistakes. And based off of that, we saw H2k winning, which was kind of expected from my side.
Yeah, H2k looking incredibly strong, maybe short about the Unicorns of Love then. There's something that makes me think that this downward trend is a little more intense for them than it was when we saw the inconsistency in the spring split. It seems like systematically more teams have figured them out.
I think so, and I think it's actually twofold. I feel that Unicorns of Love have stagnated somewhat in terms of their progression, whereas the teams around them have not. Giants have improved, H2k are playing better, especially Ryu in a lot of cases, Fnatic are improving, so the teams at the top of the table continue to grow, Unicorns do not, and I think that's where that disparity is coming in.
I think you can definitely tell that they've somewhat hit a ceiling right here, whereas H2k, you can always perfect that style more, right? They play the macro game, they play the smart, objective-focused game, and they can keep growing and just give away less mistakes, try and get these objectives, play weak on your weak side, play strong on your strong side, and just play the game, as he said before, just good League of Legends. And Unicorns, they thrive off chaos, and eventually teams will figure that out, and they'll play passive where they need to, and I feel, yeah, they're somewhat hitting a ceiling.
Yeah, we will see if they can get back in the groove of things, maybe find another avenue. We're going to take a look at the standings because a third of the summer's games are behind us already. Oh man, it goes fast. They grow up so fast. Fnatic is still undefeated at the top of the table. And then H2k and Origin. Origin dropping their first game. Definitely will have something to prove in their game of the week versus Fnatic next week around. And as said at the bottom there, SK Gaming still... Well, no one on the board, but this man right next to me is pretty happy. I mean, it's not the most impressive scoreline, but it's looking better.
I think with the progression we've made, I'm happy. And of course, beating Origin is a big confidence boost and a morale boost because we kind of need it after the loss against Giants. I think we underestimated, and it showed in the strategy and the play. And we came back strong today, and I'm super happy.
Yeah, as you said, beating Origin. How does this change the matchup for next week versus Fnatic? Of course, we were going on that maybe they both go in undefeated. I actually think it might make it better, seeing that Origin has now hit some kind of a wall in this game, and they can improve on that.
I share the opinion. I think when a team that is at the top that has been unchallenged the entire time takes a loss that was unexpected to many, many people, it is a bit of a wake-up call. So I feel they're going to come into that game. They were always going to prepare for it. But now there's also they have to prove that they are the better team because of the fact they suffered a loss.
I think regardless of the outcomes of this week, the match is still going to be fantastic because even if Fnatic drop the game or Origin, these are both teams that won't be fazed by a loss. Yes, they will be hungry to improve, but they won't be thrown off at all. They'll just go into the week the same way, practice efficiently, and want to perform in the weekend. They have these veteran players. They're not going to get bothered by a loss. Neil seems to be very confident in his approach as well, so I feel we'll still see a very strong Origin next week, and I'm very looking forward to this match.
Yeah, absolutely, it's going to be crazy. Not a perfect week for them. It was a perfect week for H2k though, and someone at the center of that and that success was Ryu. He picked up 8 kills, 11 assists, and a quadra kill, racking up a total of 41 fantasy points and leading the European LCS to close out the week. Do you have him, Trevor? That's the question.
Sadly, I do not have him on my team, but Hjarnan got me some bonus points with those 13 assists.
Just a little, yeah. And looking at the league overall, we've handpicked a list of 5 OP pros that set the bar in Week 3. And we're going to start with Huni. He had the most damage on Fnatic this week. Fantastic showing. He brought out the Echo top lane. Fantastic team play, but Huni always delivers.
Really, really good performance again. And I loved how he played Echo and how Fnatic played Echo around him. He got a lot of damage with Chrono Break, which is something nobody else has been able to do. And I think the strongest Echo performance of the week in many people's minds.
All right, and then our second OP player is another member of Fnatic, and, well, some would say a lot of those plays of Huni couldn't have happened without the pressure that Reignover's put on, and he's been a consistent for that team as well.
I think it really shows that you need to put value in how Fnatic play. Like Huni and Reignover, probably the strongest 2v2, like top lane jungle matchup that Europe has ever seen, I think.
All right, well, another 2-0 for Fnatic. We're starting to get used to it. And then our next OP player is Jankos. He is on your team, and you've had nothing but praise from him also when you were sitting here just talking to me during the game. What a fantastic player.
I have to say that Jankos is one of the most hardworking people I've ever met, and he really deserves this, and I have to say that I'm really, really proud of him.
It was super awesome to hear how happy he was on the desk. It's very rare that you see that amount of just glowing enjoyment, and it was a well-deserved victory.
Yeah. And, imagine what he can do if you pick some other junglers as well. It's going to be crazy, Amato.
It's coming, it's coming.
It's coming. All right, anyway.
Volibear, I'm waiting for it.
Our next OP player is a Gambit player, Cabo Shard, 75% kill participation, definitely shining today.
Yeah, definitely shined today, and I think what was most impressive that this time it was without the help of Diamond Procs. He did it on his own, he played solid, teleports were good, lane pressure was good, was where he needed to be, opened up the map with that split push, and he did what he made possible what Gambit couldn't do yesterday. Driving home that advantage in the 4-1, drawing away people to his side to punish, and if they didn't come, then he would just take a tower, take an inhibitor, and fantastic play, and definitely worthy of the OP5.
Yep, and a 2-0 week for Gambit, that is. And then our last OP player, Hjarnan. As said, H2k, they're a well-oiled machine, but in terms of shining, Hjarnan definitely yesterday on a Sivir, if I remember some of his fantastic positioning, and today on Jinx, of course, it's harder, but the way he managed to get out of some situations as well.
I think it's very important to highlight and respect consistency, because usually people look at these flashy players, oh, this guy did this flashy play, but Hjarnan is always consistent, never out of position, and plays really, really well all the time.
I mean, we saw it on your screen, but we have to just repeat it. He didn't die a single time this weekend. 0 deaths on an 80 carry in 2 fantastic matches, and not against the lightest opponents either, so fantastic play.
Yeah, definitely well-deserved. But across the week, we also have to pick an MVP. One player put on a show as Twisted Fate and Lulu stepping up and carrying his team to victory. It was definitely a tough choice, but we have chosen to give the MVP of this week to Ryu because, well, you guys talk about it and we talk about it so much, not those extremely flashy plays instead, but sometimes more utility-based. But then he goes on Lulu here and gets a quadra kill, and that TF game yesterday was very impressive.
I mean, Yamato said you have to reward consistency, and he was consistently engaging with TF, winning these fights for his team against SK Gaming. And this game, well, was consistently a rampage. Quadra kill in the mid lane and then little taunt here. Mental warfare.
I think it's, like, from my point of view as a coach, it's getting pretty scary because H2k, I always looked at them as the team that is, like, good as a team. But now there's, like, stepping up individually. So I'm pretty scared facing them in the future.
And maybe the better they get, the more we see that it's also individually, but it is scary, we can agree. And we will see if H2k can keep up that stellar play up next week. But first, things will get going in week 4 with Giants Gaming versus Gambit. We have Elements versus Roccat in there. The top of the table clash between Origin and Fnatic, the game of the week. Though, Elements versus Roccat, Yamato, I'd love to get your thoughts on that. Is Elements looking better, but they haven't been able to grasp that one?
Like, I think, like, the first weeks they were looking okay, and I thought they would progress. But it feels like they've taken a step back, and they look kind of worse and worse. But obviously, I'm not going to underestimate them. That happened this week, and I'm never going to do that again, hopefully. And with that in mind, I think I haven't really started preparing for Elements, but I think the weaknesses are very obvious, and it's their mid game.
All right, we will see
Maybe
next
I shouldn't
week.
have said that.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to replay that if something bad happens. Anyway, the action gets going next Thursday at 6 p.m. Central European Summertime. That is 9 a.m. Pacific. And then meanwhile, the North American LCS will get started tomorrow to fill your weekend with all the league you need. Enemy Esports takes on Team 8. You have Team Solo Mid looking to break their tie with Dignitas, and Liquid will face Cloud9. A lot of interesting matchups there. You're looking at Enemy again, Crepo?
No, I'm looking at Gravity against CLG. I think that will be a very fun match to watch. I think I'll be in my bed by then, so I'll have to watch the VOD, so no spoilers, please.
I've got my eyes on Incarnation. I really want to see how Cloud9 is meant to be playing with this guy, because it's been a rocky start, and that was one of the biggest moves that we've seen in the summer split. So we'll keep an eye on them.
We'll see how it plays out. The cameras go live in LA at 6 p.m. Central European Time. That is noon Pacific, so don't be late. That is all for us here this week at the European LCS. I'd like to thank Yamato Cannon for joining us and lending a hand here on the desk today. And on behalf of myself and the rest of the team, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
We've got ourselves a Lulu for Audrey, a Lucian for Pepinero. Oh, this is going to be a good one. Pepinero throwing down his ultimate. Godfred runs right into the stun, but there it is, the piercing light to take down Reckless. They're going in again, in comes Huni, and he is just going to burst him down. Fnatic's fastest win this split. Woolite heals, but it's not enough. Steve is going to burn a flash, but Niels is on and fights on. Equalizer down by Peke, and Mithy zoning Nukeduck around the back, and in comes Nukeduck, slides and glides. Rocket become the first team to take down Origin. Onslaught of Shadows on to 3. Emperor's the 5 trying to push it back. Youngbuck teleporting in. Let's see if the Wolves can take this fight. They've taken down JWoww.
Okay, guys, slowly. Careful.
Oh.
I'm here. Go. She's on you. Careful. Stay away. Okay, pull me. Ash. Okay, we can end then.
The Copenhagen Wolves finish them off.
But actually, Fabian is most handsome guy in the Fnatic, no?
No.
Maybe he has competition. He's like in the top.
You know, when I say that sentence, Martin see me, you know.
Yeah, Martin is jelly.
Stop making me tilt, please. But you know, Godfred. Because maybe.
Oh my
God. You're gonna be the one that saves me.
Onslaught of Shadows goes, I think, a little wide of Candy Panda, but Cabo Shot is just rampaging through. He 1v1s Candy Panda like a hot knife through butter. Gambit undefeated, SK 0-6. Time to hit the rift and settle the score between the Unicorns of Love and H2k. Wild Growth was used to keep him alive. Now Vardex defensively flashing away. Oduwanda, the only one I think that was caught by that shockwave, so 2 kills for H2k.
Convincingly take this game. H2k win the match of the week.